Brian Ross, who is outside the hospital. Brian.
Good evening, Dan. While the headlines say the nightmare in Boston is over, that's hardly the case for the investigation, as the FBI now seeks the motive of the accused suspect and his dead brother, and whether they were in league with others here or overseas. As police and federal agents closed in on the accused bomber last night, with a helicopter beaming back these remarkable thermal images of him hiding in a boat.
We have movement in the boat. He just sat up. He's moving, flailing about, quite a bit of movement.
The orders went out to do everything to capture 19-year-old Jahar Tsarnaev alive, even after an initial exchange of gunfire.
All units, do not return fire.
From the White House down, the priority now is to learn the motives of the two brothers, who authorities say are responsible for the successful terror attack on the Boston Marathon.
We will determine what happened. We will investigate any associations that these terrorists may have had.
Tsarnaev was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but once he is conscious, a special team of agents plans to question him under what is known as the public safety exception, not telling him he has a right to remain silent or to have a lawyer, in previous cases for a duration of about 50 minutes.
There is a public safety exemption in cases of national security and potential charges involving acts of terrorism, and so the government has that opportunity.
The dramatic events unfolded last night just after authorities had lifted a lockdown on Watertown. When the man who lives in this house, Dave Henenberry, was finally able to go outside, he spotted blood on his boat in the back driveway, according to his neighbor, George Pizzuto.
He started to open up the zipper and he looked inside and he saw blood. And then he looked, and his deck has a box, the engine box is up above the deck. And he looked at what he thought was a body right behind the box.
FBI and police SWAT teams stormed the area and began a 2-hour standoff, with gunfire exchanged at one point. The helicopter beamed back those images, showing the suspect in the boat.
We have movement.
A robot was sent in to rip off the tarp on top of the boat.
If they're able to successfully rip that off, he'll be fully exposed. Okay?
Tsarnaev had apparently been injured in a gunfight with police the night before and appeared weak and not wearing a suicide vest, as had been feared.
The hostage rescue team actually did work in trying to negotiate him out of that boat.
And then it was over.
The suspect in custody.
Across the street, across Boston, and across the nation, the cheers went up. Tonight, Tsarnaev is here under guard at the Beth Israel Medical Center, according to the governor, in serious, stable condition, but still not able to communicate. Dan?
When he wakes up, assuming he does, police will, as you said, have a limited period of time, perhaps 50 minutes, to interview him before they have to read him his rights. So what are the key questions they're likely to ask?
There are two key questions, I think, Dan. One, are there others who are working with him? And were there other targets that still might be hit by others who were working with him? Dan?
Huge questions tonight, still unanswered. Brian Ross, thank you for leading our coverage all week. We thank you once again.